back to day 2 of Magic Made Simple, where I help teach you Magic the Gathering. And today we're talking about lands. Yesterday we talked a little bit about what is Magic the Gathering, and we explained that it's a trading card game. In the game, you cast spells and you try to defeat your opponent. Well, one of the types of cards that you use are land cards. Land cards work as currency in the game. In Magic the Gathering, you are able to lay down one land each turn. As you can see, there are 5 different color land cards, and they each stand for a different region: swamp, island, forest, plains, and mountain. Lands are also referred to as mana, and every card costs a certain amount of mana to cast or to play. As you can see in this card, it costs 1 island and 1 plains in order to be able to play it. So in Magic the Gathering, when you have lands, you do something called tapping a land to use it. And to symbolize tapping, it goes from vertical to horizontal. When it's horizontal, you know that it's already been used. So if I had this card in my hand and I wanted to be able to play it so I could fight my opponent, what I would do is I would take my island and my plains and I would tap them to symbolize that I'm using them to play this card. However, at every turn, all of your lands become untapped, which means that these are reusable turn after turn. So what that does is your board slowly gets more and more mana in order to play more expensive creatures, which usually have better payoffs or are more valuable to the game. Sometimes they are bigger and they can hit harder. Sometimes they do cool things to your board, but ultimately, every turn you want to play a land from your hand to the battlefield and grow the mana value of your board. A really solid deck build, you really want about 30 to 38% of your cards to be lands. When you do that, you make sure that you're able to have a continuous flow of lands coming to the battlefield so you have more mana to spend on your turn. If you put in too many lands, you might continue to draw lands and not have any ammo to use against your opponent, and they'll just sit there because there's nothing to spend them on. And if you put in too few lands, then you can't actually play any of your creatures because you don't have enough mana to spend. Magic the Gathering players typically start with a 7-card hand, and in that hand, you want to make sure you have usually at least 2 or 3 lands depending on certain factors, and something low to spend your lands on. But we're gonna get more into that tomorrow, so if you're interested in learning how to tell if a hand is good in Magic the Gathering, make sure to stick around. Follow for part 3 and let me know what questions you have in the comments.